Welcome back to another video. It is day 29. We have one more day left. One more day left of this routine of giving you these daily updates. I'm very surprised that it has gone by this quickly, but here we are. Tomorrow will be the next day, last day. So I hope you guys have had fun. I've had fun talking to you guys, doing these lives every day. But one thing that I wanted to discuss right now, I have been reading, if you guys don't know, I've been reading this book. And hello to everyone who's joining. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, is it SJM Cat? Hello. Hi, Cat. Hello. So I've been reading this book, Autobiography of a Yogi, and this is a nonfiction book, but it's about a man who is experiencing life and the things that he experiences throughout his life. There's a lot of miracles. And the chapter that I'm on is regarding a woman who does not eat or drink water. Okay, she does not eat at all. She does not drink water. She receives her light from the sun, from God's source. And yeah, it's kind of hard to believe this story. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with this video, is what makes an assumption true for you. How to make your assumptions true. How to apply them to your reality, because this, again, is a nonfiction book. And I wish that I could say that this is the only part of the book that is kind of blowing my mind. There have been multiple chapters. Almost in every single chapter I'm finding something that is a bit strange to believe because of what he's explaining. So again, I wanted to read this one part. So I'll just read this one part so that you guys can get an understanding of what I'm reading, and then we're going to go into how to form an assumption and make it harden into fact, which, if you're new to this channel, we talk about how to manifest in an effortless way and how you create your own reality. So I find this to be very interesting. Okay, let's get into it. He says, years earlier, I had read an amazing account of Therese. It might be Teresa, but I'll just say Therese. It seems like Therese. Information given in the article was as follows. 1. Therese, born on Good Friday in 1898, was injured in an accident at the age of 20. She became blind and paralyzed. 2. She miraculously regained her sight in 1923 through the prayers to Saint Therese of Lisieux, the Little Flower. Later, Teresa Newman's limbs were instantaneously healed. 3. From 1923 onward, Teresa has abstained completely from food and drink, except for the daily swallowing of one small consecrated wafer. The stigmata, 4. The stigmata, Sacred Wounds of Christ, appeared in 1926 on Teresa's head, breast, hands, and feet. Every Friday, she experiences the Passion of Christ, suffering in her own body all his historic agonies. 5. Knowing ordinarily only the simple German of her village, during her Friday trances, Therese utters phrases which scholars have identified as ancient Aramaic. At appropriate times in her vision, she speaks Hebrew or Greek. 6. By ecclesiastical permission, Therese has several times been under close scientific observation. Dr. Fritz Gerlich, editor of a Protestant German newspaper, went to Kornersruth to expose the Catholic fraud, but ended up by reverently writing her biography. I don't know what's happening to my left eye, but it's watering up. It's kind of crazy. This is supposedly a photo of her. If you can see that. And she's with Teresa Newman, C. Richard Wright, Sri Yogananda. So this is Sri Yogananda. This is This is C. Richard Wright, and then this is Teresa. And apparently this woman didn't eat or drink water. And the dates are in there, right? The dates and all of this stuff, like this is a real person. And so I wanted to talk about miracles, and I wanted to talk about assumptions, because your assumptions create your reality. So how do we even get there? How does something like that even happen? And for those that think that some things are possible but not others, I want to just go back to scripture, which says that all things are possible, not some things. All things are possible. So, whatever you assume to be true, if you allow that blessing into your life, you will receive it. This woman, I just explained it, but she was paralyzed. She couldn't see. There were like way more things going on with her. And then for her to have such a transformative life, to where now she can not only live fully, but she's living so large that she doesn't need a lot of the things that we need to sustain ourselves as humans. And just thinking about this, first off, it kind of blew my mind, because I'm like, yeah, I can imagine how that would be true, but what type of beliefs are we limiting for ourselves, and what type of assumptions are we holding on to that are not allowing us to believe in something like that? Why am I reading the book and having to check and make sure, and still like, is this really true? Because of my belief system and the way that it's set up. Now, I know that it's true, and I know that it's to be real, and I do believe that what he is explaining very possibly happened during the time that he was writing it and all that good stuff. But I did want to talk about miracles and how assumptions, right? If you think about creating assumptions and how beliefs are formed, what is actually going to allow you to believe in the reality that you prefer? And so I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what would make me believe in something like that? What would make me believe in something else? Something else that is not in my field, not in my realm of entertainment, not something that I usually believe. And then it dawned on me. The moment that you entertain another idea, another assumption, is the moment that something or a circumstance can show you that it's possible of coming true. So imagine, play a little game with me here. You're reading a book like this, and you're hearing about a woman who does not eat or drink water. She does not do any of those things, and she's living very rosy cheeks. They're saying that she looks like a flower. They're describing her as very vibrant. Imagine only being told stories like this. Imagine, okay, you're 3, 4, 5 years old and you grow up only hearing this type of information. And for some reason, that helped me a lot, because I realized that based off of how we form our beliefs and what is normal to us, what we think is normal, that's going to determine things, right? This is the whole point of this channel, okay? You create your own reality, you create your own assumptions. But what if there was a way to replay stories like this in your mind and actually have them come to pass, and be able to tell others that this happened for you and be the example? The only way to show yourself that another reality exists is to entertain another idea, is to entertain the thought, the assumption that somebody else could be living a different lifestyle than you. That's really all I wanted to say. It's more of like I don't even think I have anything concrete or significant to say in this, other than there are so many different realities out here, and really assess what your assumptions are, because if something isn't happening for you, or if there is a belief that is holding you back and you know that it's holding you back, please know that there are people out here right now in this world that have passed and that are going to come into our future, that are living now, that have different experiences to tell. Anything is possible through God who strengthens you. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, I'll answer them, but for the most part, I'm feeling a little bit, a little sleepy, a little cozy. I'm probably gonna take a shower, go to bed. I have had very interesting nights these past couple of nights. It's been kind of hard for me to go to sleep. I don't know if anybody else has been experiencing that, but it's been kind of difficult for me to shut my mind down. So yeah, just been reading and learning more. So I hope that that has been helpful to you guys. I love you so much. You can create your own reality. I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Other than the fact that I would like to get on a routine schedule for sleeping. I would like to do that. But yeah, other than that, I've been feeling pretty good. I had a really nice night last night. I went out and had this amazing dinner. I'm going to miss your daily updates. Yeah, it's been fun. Thank you to everyone. Truly, truly, truly. Thank you for everyone who has been watching these lives and joining the lives when I'm live. It's been really fun talking to you guys on a daily basis. Wait, what is happening? Are you? No, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. I'm only doing 30 days of the daily love routine updates. So tomorrow will be the last day that I do an update like this. I would call this love routine a success. A success. And I think that moving forward, I will have exciting news to share with you guys. Like I said a couple of days ago, if you don't feel confident with a manifestation, it's better to keep it to yourself, right? If you are not fully secure in that. So I've just been laying low, but I still am coming on here every day with updates. But please just know that like things have been really moving, really moving. I've seen movement. The 3D has been adapting to the new thought forms that I have. I do have a quick question. Yes, go for it. And well, she's right behind me, but she's behind this pillow. Do you feel different from day one to now? That's a good question. Yes and no. Ooh, I think that this is going to help someone right now, whoever is watching. Sometimes we expect dramatic things to happen, or like very powerful emotions, like even trying to feel something. Like sometimes we think that shifting our reality is going to take a lot of effort or power, and it's actually the opposite. When you meditate and when you're shifting energies, it happens subtly. It's very subtle. These changes are very subtle, and it might come in the form of chills. It might come in the form of you choosing a salad versus having fruit. It might come in the form of you calling your friend versus texting them. These are very subtle changes. So when I was doing the love routine, I first started off on day one, which technically I was already doing the meditation that I told you guys about on day one for like a couple of days, like a week or two. But I experienced going into my imagination and feeling it very strong. Now I don't feel it. Like I do feel it, but I'm here. I'm already here. It's like I brush my teeth twice a day. If somebody saw me brushing my teeth and they were like, "Oh my God, congratulations, you're brushing your teeth," I would look at them kind of crazy because I'd be like, I do this every day. This is normal for me. That's what I mean. When you get into a routine and you're doing something often over again with repetition and with the same feeling, then it doesn't, it's not going to feel crazy. Another thing is, I was listening to a podcast. It was a finance podcast. This woman, she's like a multimillionaire with her product, and she did really well in her business. And she was like, yeah, I got interviewed and they asked me how it felt to now be a millionaire when I was broke and in debt, 2 years before. And she said, it didn't feel different. And I didn't want to give them that answer because I knew how it sounded. I knew how it would sound if I told them that. Like, oh, it doesn't feel any different. Like, I'm supposed to have this, but that's actually how you're going to feel. By the time it manifests for you, it's going to feel like the next logical step. It's going to feel normal to you because you've been practicing, you've been consistently in that vibration. So now I'm in this state where I've been going on dates. I've been meeting people. The idea of a relationship is it's normal to me now, where before I was like, oh, I don't know if like that would be a big jump. That would be like, I don't know if I would be able to do that. Now I feel pretty neutral. I feel very like, is what it is. Hold on, let me see. Hey, will you quickly reiterate what the love routine is? Yes, so what I was doing for the love routine is every morning I was doing a specific meditation. I put that in day one of the love routine. It was a meditation by Aaron Doughty. It's a very powerful meditation. It helps you get into the feeling state, and it also helps you visualize. His guided meditation is very beautiful. So I did that. I did that every day. And then I also would do a gratitude list. So write down 10 things that I'm grateful for. This happened each day. And then I also had affirmations set up. So the affirmations that I use was I'm irresistible, unforgettable, and irreplaceable. Then I also had I have more money than I can spend. And then the other one was, I actually wasn't using the other one, but just so that you guys know. Oh, the optional one was everything is working out for me, but I can't remember what the third one is because I didn't use it. I just used those two main ones, and I feel pretty good in those. Like, you know that it's sticking when that's the first thought that you go to. You don't have to think about it so much. Like, if I were to ask you right now on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel? 10 being amazing, I feel super on top of the world. 1 being like, I have some work. Whatever that answer is, that is your automatic, right? That's your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind. That's the initial thought that you have. So if somebody asks me, are you good at dancing? Initial answer, yes. I'm good at dancing. I know how to dance. If somebody were to ask you, do you know how to chop wood on a tree? Like, get sap from a tree, I'd be like, no, I don't know how to do that. Like, there's certain things that you just automatically have a reaction to and can respond. That's a sure sign to know where you're at in your process, in your journey. And then depending on what you want and what you prefer, you can tailor it and start to slowly shift into an energetic space that embodies the new version. Now, I will say this, when I say slowly shift, and when I say subtle shifts, that does not mean it's not powerful. A subtle shift, think about this. A subtle shift does not mean that it's weak. It just means that it's subtle, okay? Think about this. When people experience traumatic events in their life, what do they usually say? They usually say things along the lines of, wow, had I known that 3 minutes before this was going to happen to me, I wouldn't have gone to that party, or I wouldn't have said hello to that person, or I would have taken a different path. I would have driven down a different road. These very micro, these what it seems like micro movements that we're taking, micro actions are leading us to big changes. So to anybody out there, just if you just as a word of inspiration or whatever you want to call it, if you are not feeling like things are changing, they are. There is always movement. Always. There's always something happening for you. When others ask about your SP, what is the best way to respond? Um, well, what are they asking? Like if, I mean, for example, if somebody were asking me about my SP, I'd be like, I'm living. It's however you want to respond, literally, however you want to respond to said person that is asking you the question. If somebody asks you, "Oh, how is that job going?" and you don't want to talk about it, just be like, "It's going." Because it's true, it's always going. the only the only change is constant. Change is the only constant. In Aaron Doughty's love meditation, when he says to think about a time where you felt loved, do you have a different memory every time or focus on the same memory? That is a great question. Depending on the day. So for the first couple of days, I thought about some very beautiful children that are in my life. I have nieces and nephews, so I, for some reason, would think about them. What I would recommend is when you're doing the meditation, let the visualization come to you. So let the image pop into your mind, because by the time he asks you, this is why I like the meditation. By the time he asks you about the memory, you're already in a relaxed state and you've already done the breath work. You've already centered. You've already grounded. When he says, okay, look, like there's like a little guided part where he says to look at a seed in your hand, look at the color of it, put it in your heart, watch it seep into your heart, and then grow. And then after you've done like a lot of work already energetically, by the time you do that, then when he says to think of a time, you're already in the vibration of it and you're already in the frequency. Just allow something to come to you. Don't force anything. So again, the first couple of times I would think of children and like just like beautiful children that are in my life. They're just very special to me. The second time or the other times I would think about dancing, something that I love. The next time I do visualize arms hugging, wrapping around me. I will, oh wait, hold on. Let me like pause for effect. Oh, imagine arms wrapped around me like my mom or like my dad. I'll imagine like parents hugging me, but then this one time I meditated and this happened multiple times after that, had me shook. So you can do this too. If you have a photo of yourself, there's like photos of me in my family house where I grew up. There's like baby photos, and I was looking at them the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, you really got it. You really got it. Like you're just so cute. You're perfect. And I felt so much unconditional love. And then when I went into the meditation, I I picked up myself when I was 5 or 4, the girl in the photo. I picked her up and I gave her a really big hug. That messed me up. That messed me up. I cried a lot during that meditation. And I knew that I needed to visualize that more and become more comfortable with that visualization, because it was like I was doing what a lot of people would consider childhood healing, or whatever they call it, whatever phrase you want to call it. But yeah, I was hugging the younger version of myself and she was just like telling me that everything was okay. That's a powerful thing that you can do too. But yeah, I would also, I want to say this too. Creating a routine for yourself is for you to build your beliefs. So I really think that you can manifest anything that you want by just saying it once and leaving it alone. And if you are in your power and you know who you are, you can say, I want this, it's done. And walk away from the situation and it will manifest. That is how I manifest a lot of times. But I do understand and I do recognize that there are different belief systems that we have. And if there is something that's like really, like the love routine, for example, like what I was intending from this love routine, if you feel like there's a lot of resistance towards this, then practicing and analyzing the love that's in your life is going to help fulfill other parts, right? Like whatever the intention is. So, um, really looking at the beliefs and looking at the assumptions and deciding for yourself that this is what you want and being decisive. That's like 99.999% of the work is done when you make that decision. And then the rest is just feeling it into existence and feeling normal in that. And I've really been tailoring what I want because I had a list and then the list manifested perfectly, um, everything that I wanted on the list. And then I realized, I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. I know who I am. And now I'm at the point where I just don't even have a list anymore. Um, some people will understand this. If you don't understand it, then that's perfectly fine. And I'm not trying to like dissuade anyone from a list. But even routines, I made that routine for myself, the different practices and the meditation, because that fit my belief system in that moment. So that's what I did. And I continued to do that. And because I was consistent and disciplined enough to do that, that's what creates the belief system. Same thing like with any type of sport that you do or any type of challenge that you take on, you'll do it, but the first time that you do it, you're not going to have that confidence. Your belief systems, it's all about your belief systems. Your body is not used to it. So your muscle movement, it's not ingrained in your subconscious yet. But then there comes a point where after you've practiced it enough, when you even something like this, when you're actually reading stories like this and you're like, oh, okay, so it is possible for me to just claim something into existence and then it comes. Like, literally, it's just wild. When you start to claim things and just actually prove to yourself that you have this capability, then it happens for you. So your routine does not have to look like mine. It can look different. It could look like whatever permission slip you want. It could be I wake up at 6:45. I wake up at 9:30. I brush my teeth and I floss in the mornings and the evenings. And that's the version of myself that is making $30,000 a month. Like, if you actually believe that those things, that those tools, that little setup that you created, that routine for yourself that you created is going to get you there, and that's what will happen. So beliefs are very powerful. They create your own reality. Very exciting news. And I'm not sure how much I'm going to read later on tonight, but I will also update you guys when I finish the book. So even if it's past the 30 days, because I don't know if I'll finish it by tomorrow, but I'll let you guys know when I finish the book. And if I have any other findings or significant parts in the book where I'm like, I need to share it with you guys, then I'll definitely do that. All right. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. Have a great night. Get some rest. Drink tea. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Bye.